Hi, I'm Nija. Did you know Nevada has an epidemic? And that epidemic is from pedestrians being hit by cars. It was declared an epidemic in 2016, according to the Las Vegas Sun News, that a lot of pedestrians have been hit, more than 400 pedestrians since 2011. The number between 2011 and 2015 was about 1,000 from them not properly crossing the street. But a lot of people don't know there is a proper way to cross the street. A lot of people don't think about it. They just either dart straight across the street and think the car is supposed to, I guess, read their minds if they're coming across the street. The other thing is there's why there's crosswalks. That's why you can cross at the light, although a lot of these streets are very long. So if you're walking down the street, you might not want to walk all the way to the light. That's an extra 2 to 3 minutes, but it might be the best thing to save your life. According to the state of Nevada, they allocated about $8 million to them improving all of the areas that don't have crosswalks, including the area from Lake Mead and Civic Center all the way to Nellis. So they have like that, including Maryland Parkway. I'm sure you guys have probably seen all those new fancy crosswalks where you have the lights and all those gates up where you can't actually even get across the street without actually walking to the proper crosswalk. Those lights are there also to alert the drivers that someone's actually crossing, and they start to blink. They're like yellow and they'll blink constantly, which normally stops traffic unless there's somebody that just feels like they still don't want to wait and they're gonna go. Which the improvements have made a big difference. It helped lower the numbers, but it's still an epidemic stage. The number of people that's been hit in Nevada is higher than the epidemic for HIV and many other diseases that they have. How many people's been hit? So safety is first. One of the biggest things why people get hit is because they're not paying attention. And they like to blame the drivers mostly, saying the driver hit them and the driver's not doing this. You know, although sometimes drivers are not paying attention just as well, they also are saying that smartphones are starting to be one of the biggest issues as to why a lot of car accidents happen. A lot of people do get hit, even for the pedestrian. They're saying they're on their smartphone, so they're not able to pay attention when they're crossing the street, which is how a lot of them end up getting hit, is what they're saying now. Just as well, on the other end, the driver might be texting or paying attention to their smartphone, and that's how they might end up hitting someone and running them over. According to the epidemic.org, 66% of the pedestrian fatalities occurred where there was no crosswalk. 61% occurred after dark, and according to them, Thursdays and Fridays are the most dangerous days to walk, I guess, across the street. So if you're out on Thursday and Friday night, you might not want to, cross the street out of the crosswalk. I've never heard that ever, so I guess most of the people got hit on Thursday and Friday, I guess you can say that. The biggest thing is that people don't, as a driver, sometimes you guys don't see people. Sometimes drivers are driving too fast and they're not cautious of how fast they're going, if they're going to be able to stop properly, which also connects to why there's a lot of car accidents, especially when you get on the freeway. There is almost always a car accident. Also, when you're driving the basic residential streets, the basic busy streets, a lot of drivers they drive past the speed limit. And if you realize when you're driving your car, whatever your speed is, you're going to go 3 times as fast as that when it's time for you to stop. So if you're going 60 miles an hour and 25 miles on, and you have to stop instantly, you might gonna get that. You might gonna be able to hit that person in regards to where you don't want to actually run a person over. A lot of times they're kids that get hit or elderly people, because sometimes they can't make it across the street in a timely manner. Sometimes kids are just playing, they're just running across the street and you don't see them, or they don't care if you see them or not, they're just gonna dart out there in the middle of the street. For instance, where I live, the kids dart out in the parking lot and they don't have no cares about a car coming. Like, they don't care if they see the car coming, they're gonna try to beat the car, and you just have to be on alert to make sure you don't hit the kids, which is very, very sad. It's sad. For people walking down the street, there's a few things that if they do them right, they won't get hit, or just basically prevent them from being hit. So some of those reasons that they do get hit is because they're crossing the street improperly again. They're not being visible. As far as some people wear a lot of dark clothing and they're walking down the street, you cannot see them. Or for some reason, if they're riding their bike or on one of those scooters, their lights are not on. And they fail to yield. They fail to even stop. When you're coming, they feel like they have the right of way, they're just gonna keep going. And that's the other thing, they're darting into the roadway of the car. I mean, if I'm walking, I'm not just gonna dart out there and just go. And the other thing with drivers are normally they're not paying attention. Sometimes the drivers are texting or listening to music, whatever they're doing on their phone that delays them from paying attention. The other thing is sometimes they're not sober. Sometimes they're under the influence, and that affects how they're driving. And then the last thing is that they're speeding. So if the pedestrian and if the drivers all, try to comply with the rules, then we can lower the numbers of people being hit by vehicles. Thank you.